Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Town of Atikokan Committee of the Whole Agenda, January 13th, 2025. Call to order. You can declare a pecuniary interest or general nature thereof now or at any time throughout this meeting. We'll move on to item number 4, Administration and Employee Relations. Number 1, name change for bylaws. Report to council. I'm going to turn that over to Sue.
Thank you, Chair Shine. We have to change a couple bylaws because our deputy clerk needs to change her name to her married name. So we'll have to appoint lottery license officers and deputy clerk coming to the council meeting. So if anyone has any questions, just let me know.
Hearing none, we'll move on to item 2, council vacancy procedure. Turn it over to Sue.
Thanks, Chair Shine. This is just an update to council on the council vacancy procedure. We only have one person right now has filed. We close Friday at 2 p.m. when we will certify the applications. So we will let council know if we will have a special meeting to do the appointment process. We are looking at February 3rd, which will be held at 5:30 p.m. If anyone has any questions, please let me know.
Yes, Councillor Stimson. Brian, can you speak into your mic?
Yeah. I'm just looking at this here, the part about, if you look down on page 2, or page 1, policy, it said policy program impacts. The clerk's department is currently drafting a policy and procedure for council vacancies. I certainly hope we're not going to be changing it to take out the part where you move up the runner-ups.
Go ahead. I'll let Sue answer that.
No. So in the policy, this is all a council decision. Council decides what they want to do. We're not going to say that you can't take the next runner-up or that we give options, and at the time, that's the council's decision. So we're not going to be telling you what you have to do. You guys make the decision.
Okay. I just hope we stick with the way we are, but fine. Thank you.
Leah?
Thank you, Chair Shine. I just wanted to note that we don't currently have a policy right now, Councillor Stimson, so that's why we're writing one. So it's basically the same process that we went through this time where we presented options to council. We're just putting it into a policy so that every time this question comes up, we're giving the same information and following the same procedure.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you to the clerks for that. Oh. Councillor Knowles?
Thank you. Sorry about that. As far as the questions go, how are those predetermined? Do we have to decide those at the special meeting? Are they provided by staff? How do we go about that?
So once we know when we're going to have this meeting, if we do have the meeting, if we get more than one person to put their application in, I will email council. Council can email us questions, and then we will, I guess, we haven't really decided exactly what we're going to do yet. We have time to decide, but it will ultimately be council's decision on what questions that they will be asking the candidates.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Chair,
Yes,
Shine,
Mayor Ferguson.
It is people participating virtually able to participate in this process? Yes? Thank you.
Any other questions?
They still have to come in and file correctly, right?
This, no? Councillor Stimson asked, do they still have to come in and file to be?
Oh, I'm sorry. Through the chair, I just, councilors participate virtually, yes. Candidates will have to be in person, correct?
Yes, candidates have to be in person.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to item B, Finance, 2025 water and wastewater rates. We'll turn that over to Brandy.
Okay, so you'll see we need to do our annual sewer and water levy. So we are recommending a 3.3% increase. And if council's okay with that, we will have a bylaw come to the, not today's council meeting, but the next one.
Does anyone have any questions for Brandy? Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Shine. Brandy, in the strategic plan, it said that 3.8 and 1.8 over for the next 20 years, and we're going under that, are we?
Are you talking about maybe the asset management plan? It recommends 2.8 sewer increase and a
Yes.
1.8
Yes.
water increase. So that basically, yeah, so we do a flat rate against both, which basically covers it.
So at the 4.6, was that the figure that was determined that would get us self-sufficient in 20 years?
Yes. But that's 2.8 against water and 1.8 against water and 2.8 against sewer. So we're doing it against both water and sewer one rate.
Okay.
But it works out to about the same.
So we should still hit our goal then?
Yes.
I know that's a hard call to make.
Yeah, it depends on the capital investments
yeah.
and that sort of thing, but, yeah, I would recommend increasing more, but,
We don't have the money.
this has been, I mean, council has always tried to keep it down as much as possible, so I was just going with that normal trend.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Yes, Mayor Ferguson.
Through the chair, Brandy, so it's a $35 a year total increase.
Yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to clarify that. Thanks.
Any other questions? Councillor Martin?
Thank you, Chair Shine, is that correct? Sorry.
Yes.
Brandy, I was reading and it says our current asset management plan recommends an annual. Now, who's on that asset management plan? Who's part of that figures that out?
So we have an asset management database that finance updates annually with our capital assets. And then the asset management plan, we generally hire a consultant to complete the plan for us. We have to give them the data and they work in our database and that sort of thing. But generally they do the grunt work and create the plan itself.
So when was this done, and it's a third party that does that?
Yeah, so it's a living document. It was legislated years ago, and then there are continuous updated regulations that happen. So we're currently regulated to update our plan as of 24, which isn't quite complete. And then we have further regulations that have to be implemented by 2025. So I will be coming to council again with a recommendation to hire Citywide to complete the further updates to meet the regulations.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Brandy, I have one. This is available online on our website, correct, for the community to read if they want to?
The asset management plan is, yes.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 2, temporary borrowing. Brandy.
So this is annual housekeeping. We have to pass this bylaw every year just to allow us to go into our overdraft if need be.
Any questions for Brandy? Councillor Knowles?
Thank you, Chair Shine. Brandy, what is the interest rate of any funds borrowed? Is there a special rate for municipalities, or does it follow kind of standard business rates?
Well, we would have special rates, but to be honest, we haven't gone into the overdraft for years, so I don't even know what it is.
Okay, this is more of a contingency then?
Yes. That we have to, by regulation, we have to pass this bylaw every year.
Any other questions? Moving on to item 3, the interim tax levy. Brandy again.
So once again, this is another housekeeping item. So this just is an annual bylaw we have to pass in order to be allowed to submit interim tax bills. So basically, the first bill of the year, we base it on 50% of the previous year. So this allows us to do that before setting the budget and tax rates.
Any questions for Brandy? Hearing none, we'll move on to Public Works, Airport Waste Management, Water and Sewage Treatment Operations and Maintenance Contract. I'm turning that over to Tyler.
Yep, so as you guys can see in the report, as directed last year, we went out to market for the procurement of the services to run the water and sewage treatment plants, as well as all the lift stations. Didn't get quite the turnout that we were hoping, also didn't get the exact result we're looking for. As you guys can see from the report, costs have gone up a bit. I guess that's the danger when you go to market. Unfortunately, we've only had one company submit a proposal. So we went through the last fair bit of time trying to kind of get them to sharpen their pencil and see where we can save some costs, and this is where we've ended up with.
Any questions for Tyler? Councillor Stimson?
Yeah, I just did some quick adding here, and looks like the chemicals have gone up twice the price of last year, and it's going to cost another $214,000 from $597 compared to the year before. That seems like quite an increase, does it not? Like, I don't know, you're the expert on this, not me.
Well, so the reason we broke the chemicals out was because it seemed excessive to have that sort of increase. So that's why we're looking at clauses in the contract to tighten up the limits before we get into like the equalization payments. So if the chemicals that we use vary by a certain amount, then there's a clause in the contract that gets triggered, and then we have to do a chemical adjustment for that.
They pick what company you buy the chemicals from, or can
It's
you
up to them to supply them all
okay, but we pay for it.
through the contract.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Any other questions?
Okay, so I guess we'll finish beating up the contract and we'll bring it to the next meeting then.
Thank you, Tyler. Hearing no other questions. Nothing else on the agenda? No. We can adjourn this meeting. We'll take a quick 5-minute break.